Good day, everyone. Today, we will explore one of the most fascinating discussions in philosophy and psychology, the concept of self. This concept plays a central role in shaping how we perceive ourselves and interact with the world. We'll differentiate between two broad philosophical traditions, Western thought and Eastern or Oriental thought. These two approaches offer contrasting ideas about what it means to be a self, how identity is constructed, and how we relate to others and the universe. Part 1. The Western concept of self. In Western thought, the self is typically viewed as individualistic and autonomous. The roots of this perspective can be traced back to ancient Greece and further developed in the Enlightenment period in Europe. Let's break this down through some key philosophical ideas. 1. The Cartesian self. One of the most influential thinkers in Western philosophy, René Descartes, famously declared, "Cogito ergo sum," or "I think, therefore I am." For Descartes, the act of thinking proves the existence of a distinct, conscious self that is separate from the body and the external world. This led to a dualistic view of the self, where mind and body are seen as separate entities. The self is understood as a rational, thinking subject, central to our identity and experience. 2. Individualism. In Western societies, especially post-Enlightenment, the self is often seen as independent and self-sufficient. Personal identity is something each individual must define, often in relation to their goals, desires, and achievements. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre emphasized radical freedom and the burden of defining oneself. According to Sartre, we are condemned to be free, meaning that we must create our own essence through choices. 3. Personal agency. Western perspectives emphasize personal agency. The self is seen as capable of making autonomous decisions, and there's a strong belief in personal responsibility and control over one's destiny. This aligns with a more ego-centered view, where boundaries between the self and others are clear. The self seeks to assert its individuality in the world. In summary, in Western thought, the self is characterized by individualism, rationality, and a clear distinction between the self and the external world. The focus is often on the inner mind and self-awareness. Part 2. The Eastern or Oriental concept of self. In contrast, Eastern or Oriental thought presents a very different view of the self. Broadly speaking, Eastern perspectives tend to emphasize interconnectedness, holism, and the impermanence of the self. 1. The Buddhist no-self Anatta doctrine. One of the most radical departures from the Western idea of self comes from Buddhism, which proposes the concept of anatta or no-self. According to this doctrine, the self is an illusion. There is no permanent, unchanging essence or soul. Instead, the self is a constantly changing collection of mental and physical processes, thoughts, sensations, perceptions, that give the illusion of a stable identity. Impermanence, anicca, is a key concept here. Everything, including the self, is in a state of constant flux. Clinging to the idea of a permanent self leads to suffering, dukkha, according to Buddhist philosophy. 2. Confucianism, self in relation to society. In Confucian thought, the self is deeply embedded in social relationships. The idea of a fully autonomous individual is less emphasized compared to one's role in the family, community, and society. The self is defined in terms of its relationships with others. Ethics of care and social harmony are central, as one's self-cultivation is seen as a process of fulfilling responsibilities to others and living in harmony with the broader community. 3. Taoism, the self in harmony with nature. Taoist philosophy, represented by thinkers like Laozi, suggests that the self is not a separate, autonomous entity but a part of the natural flow of the universe. The concept of wu-wei, non-action or effortless action, encourages individuals to align with the Tao, the way, meaning the self is at its best when it is in harmony with nature, not when it seeks to dominate or control its environment. Taoism emphasizes simplicity, spontaneity, and humility, where the boundaries between the self and the natural world are fluid and ever-changing. 4. Hinduism, the self as Atman. In Hinduism, the concept of the self or Atman is both deeply personal and connected to the universal principle, Brahman. The self is not an isolated ego but rather part of a larger cosmic reality. Hindu thought emphasizes the idea of reincarnation, where the Atman, self, is eternal and moves through cycles of rebirth until it achieves liberation, moksha. This sense of self is not defined by individual autonomy but by its connection to a larger, spiritual whole. In summary, the Eastern view of the self tends to focus on interconnectedness with the world, impermanence, and selflessness. The boundaries between self and others are fluid, and the self is often seen in relational or cosmic terms rather than as an isolated individual. Part 3. Key differences. To summarize, here are some key contrasts between Western and Eastern perspectives on the self. Individualism versus interconnectedness. In the West, the self is often individualistic and focused on personal identity, autonomy, and self-assertion. In the East, the self is more interconnected, defined by relationships and harmony with others or with the universe. Permanent versus impermanent self. The Western self is typically seen as stable and enduring, Descartes cogito, whereas in the East, particularly in Buddhism, the self is considered impermanent and constantly changing. Autonomy versus relational self. Western thought emphasizes personal autonomy and decision-making, while Eastern perspectives, such as Confucianism, see the self as being in relation to social roles and responsibilities. Conclusion. The concept of self is a fundamental topic in both Western and Eastern philosophies, but as we've seen, these traditions approach it from very different perspectives. Western thought emphasizes the individual, autonomous self, while Eastern perspectives highlight the relational, interconnected, and impermanent nature of the self. Understanding these differences allows us to appreciate the richness of both traditions and invites us to reflect on our own notions of identity, purpose, and our place in the world. Thank you, and I hope this lecture has given you new insights into the concept of the self from both Western and Eastern perspectives.